On today's edition of the Thrive Time Show, we have a unique opportunity to interview the award-winning CEO, C-suite advisor, communications expert, and author by the name of Sabrina Horn. Throughout her career, she's been the trusted communications expert and the PR consultant of choice for PeopleSoft, for Forbes, for Mitsubishi, and for big-time brands that you know. And on today's show, she's here to share with you about her new book called Make It, Don't Fake It, Leading with Authenticity for Real Business Success. All this and more on today's edition of the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we are interviewing an incredible guest, a woman who is an award-winning CEO, a C-suite advisor. She's a communications expert. She's an author, and she may even yodel well. I have never met somebody, Aaron, that yodels, let alone somebody who yodels well.
Well, you
but
haven't asked me to before.
She's a real polymath, so
Not
she might be able to do it.
Yodel.
She might be able to beatbox. If you might be able to throw out some linoleum, and she'll be able to break it down and do the whole breakdance moves. We don't know. That's how much talent we have on today's show. Sabrina Horn, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you?
Wow. What a great introduction. I don't yodel, but it is great to be here with you guys today.
Do you have appreciation for the finest yodelers the world has to offer?
Well, I saw a yodeler once when I was in Switzerland, and it was impressive.
You did see a yodeler in Switzerland?
Yeah, with the whole outfit, the lederhosen and everything.
Lederhosen. Now, do you know much about why the yodelers exist? Like, what are they doing up there?
I never really pondered that.
Okay.
Oh, we stumped her, Clay. We stumped her.
I just want to go down that rabbit trail because people tell me all the time, they go, Clay, I love that last show you did because you were asking the founder of Atari about some bizarre question. I love that you asked Wolfgang Puck about, so I'm just going to real quick. It says, yodeling, it says most experts, there's experts.
In yodeling.
Most
yes.
experts agree that yodeling was used in the Central Alps by herders calling their stock or to communicate between alpine villages. The multi-pitched yelling later became part of the region's traditional lore and musical expression.
Wow.
Ricola. Okay. All right. Okay. So you tell us where did you come from? You've obviously had a lot of success. Pre-success, where did you come from?
Well, I am the only child of 2 incredible German immigrants. My parents came to this country with probably $60 in their pockets. And so I was just infused with...
Did we lose you?
Hello?
I heard infused with, and then it cut off. There was that suspense you just can't pay for.
It was like a cliffhanger for us on this side. It was great.
We're back.
Infused with what? I was just infused with their entrepreneurial spirit and this sense that there's no free lunch in life and that you have to somehow try and control your destiny. And so I was, you might say, a little bit of an outsider growing up, thinking that I had to bring my own lunch to school. And I had to kind of, be an entrepreneur before I was 15 years old. But in all seriousness, like I did always have that sort of the hankering to hang out my own shingle. And I decided to do that when I was 29 years old, after I had just only worked for a few years in public relations for a couple other firms, right? And figured I knew enough to be dangerous and won a client. And there I was. In business.
And so you how did you win the client? What was your offer you made? What was the hot no-brainer offer that you made to get that first client?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good story, right? Like every entrepreneur's dream. They pick a customer and they write a business plan, and then they go and pitch their heart out. I did create a business plan over like a vacation. It was 4 pages long, and I saw this wave of technology coming on the horizon, like back when PCs were a new thing.
Oh, wow.
And this was in the early 1990s, and mainframe computers were sort of on the outs, and PCs were the hot new thing. So there was a whole wave of new technology software companies building business application software for this new computing platform. And I thought, that's interesting, because these are pieces of software that help you do your job. And there's interesting stories there, maybe. And being a public relations person, I thought, this is complicated. They're going to need a new way to tell these stories in a more compelling way. And back then, PR was really just a very tactical marketing function. It was all about spray and pray. It was about churning out press releases on anything and everything. And I thought there has to be a more strategic approach.
Got it.
And so that's sort of what I went to them with.
And so public relations, for people out there that don't know, how would you describe public relations, what it is? Michael Levine, a longtime friend of mine who used to handle the public relations for Prince and Pizza Hut and Nike, he talks about it being gift wrapping for business owners. It's essentially, it's the branding. It's what people think about when you're not around. That would be your brand, and public relations helps shape that message. Or how would you describe what public relations is to you?
Yeah, I mean, those are interesting ways to describe it. I would go and say that it's about risk assessment. It's about finding out what threats and opportunities there are for a company or a person, whoever it is you're promoting, and then finding a path to communicate a compelling story about that going forward. And that becomes your image, it becomes your reputation, it becomes your brand. Now, sometimes public relations is about crisis and managing a crisis. So different definitions for different applications, but at the end of the day, it's about telling compelling stories. Do
you charge for this?
Yes, I should hope so. Yes.
Great question, Clay.
No. Listen. This is one of my better questions I've ever had. I want to make sure people understand this though for a second, because Aaron, somebody out there right now is having an idea. They're going, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could see myself doing this.
Yeah.
Now that they know what this is, because previous to now they didn't know this was a thing.
Right.
But this is a thing.
Yeah.
And so it's public relations is what it is. What's your website, Sabrina? If people want to learn more, maybe if someone wants to intern for you, maybe somebody wants to apply for a job, they want to learn more. Where's your firm located on the interwebs?
Yeah, so you can reach me at www.sabrinahorn.com. And that is my new consulting practice where I actually help entrepreneurs navigate the early stages of their business, which includes communication strategy. Previous to that, of course, I had my firm, which was called the Horn Group, and I ran that for 24 years and sold that in 2015 to Finn Partners.
Okay, Aaron, I don't know if you're okay if I go ahead and potentially attack the guest here, but this is what I'm going to do.
Well, you normally do.
So verbal attack, though, just verbal attack, right?
No,
verbal
physical.
attack.
No,
Okay.
I would just say,
verbal attack.
Seems like she made a pretty big bet on computers and the internet.
Yeah.
The internets.
Yeah.
Sabrina, do you think they're going to catch on?
Yeah, this thing called the Wide World Web. Yeah, I think it's here to stay.
Okay,
Oh.
well, that's a pretty big bet.
That's a
And you
pretty
didn't-
big prediction for us. We
As
should
for
probably
me,
go out and
I
buy
shall
stock in
continue
that.
using my punch cards and my mainframe technology.
And you didn't say it, but Clay said the internet with air quotes, and he said the computers with air quotes, too. So you missed that.
Yeah.
Clay actually has a rotary dial phone over here that he still uses. So.
Okay, so now you've had all this success, and tell us about some of the brands that you've worked with throughout your career. Some of the hot startups you've worked with, over the years. What are some of the big companies you've helped?
Yeah, so sure. I mean, my first client was PeopleSoft, which was in the B2B space. It was a hot little HR software company that grew to be several billion dollars and was acquired by Oracle. We worked with companies like Commerce One and Forbes Media. Actually, Forbes magazine is owned by Forbes Media. We helped them when they were transforming their digital brand. But we've also done work for companies like SAP, Mitsubishi. And most of the startups that we worked with were in the B2B space, enterprise software, and they were all acquired and swallowed up by larger companies. It's sort of like the cycle of life in tech.
So do you call yourself a PR expert, or what would you call yourself?
I would call myself a communications expert because PR, the definition of PR has like changed and evolved over the years and is much broader now.
So if I were to say that the PR consultant of choice and communications expert of choice for PeopleSoft, Forbes Media, Mitsubishi, and other top companies joins us to share about her new book, Make It, Don't Fake It, would that be an accurate statement?
Yes, I believe it would be.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. So now that you're here, let's talk to you about your new book here.
Yes.
Make It, Don't Fake It, Leading
Yes.
with Authenticity for Real Business Success. What is this book about, my friend?
Yeah, so the book is about helping entrepreneurs and executives lead their businesses with integrity and avoid the temptation to fake it. And because faking it just sabotages your success. And like, honestly, like I feel like somewhere along the line, like 5-10 years ago, some people didn't get the memo that integrity matters. And the fake it till you make it mantra is just the worst icing on the worst cake. It's the worst business advice ever.
Yeah.
And so my book aims to help dispel that and provide some guidance.
Now, I'm gonna not that Satan needs an advocate, but let me just go there for a second. If somebody out there, I mean, they're wrestling right now. They got $20 in their pocket. You know, they're thinking about buying your book, or Aaron, what else could they do with $20? I mean, Aaron, by the way, runs Oklahoma's largest home building company, so he knows a lot about what people could be doing with their money.
Yeah.
Aaron, what could people be doing with their money if they're not buying her book?
You could buy a 1 square foot home from us.
1 square foot. James, you're an attorney from New York.
That's right. Yeah.
And for $20, how many minutes of your time will you give somebody?
Oh, I can't do math like that.
No, because you charge how much an hour?
That's like 8 seconds with James.
James, how much do you charge an hour? Seriously?
Well, the discounted rate is $4.95 an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's
So
crazy.
whatever
so
that
for
is, $20.
It's like, I don't even think that's not 20 minutes. It's like
not
2
good.
minutes.
That's not good. They're not getting much time with
Unbelievable. Okay,
You
so
could buy a burrito, though, too.
Okay, so Sabrina, someone could buy 1 square foot of a house. They could buy a burrito of kind of a organic nature in a downtown area. They could buy 1 minute with James's time.
They could buy 2.42 minutes of James'
2.42 minutes of James's time. Or they could buy your new book, Make It, Don't Fake It. Why should people buy your new book?
Yeah, I think people should buy my book so that they can learn how to do what they want to do authentically and be successful on their own accord, right? That you don't have to fake it in order to be successful. And there's a lot of instances right now, like where imposter syndrome can like take the confidence out of you. And so I provide in my book tips on how to handle or preempt imposter syndrome, or how to handle a crisis because you're so overwhelmed you just want to stick your head in the sand.
What is imposter syndrome for people out there that don't know what that is? What are you referring to?
It's a increasingly hot topic these days. Imposter syndrome is this terrible feeling that you don't deserve the success you've achieved because you didn't earn it, and that you're a fraud, and that you'll be exposed. And really, you just achieved your success because you had good timing or you got lucky. And so you're just basically sitting there, and it can chip away at your confidence, and it can cause you actually to fake it.
Aaron?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Is this the part of the show where you talk about your affection for Tanya Harding's Olympic skating career?
Oh my God.
What aspect of her skating career, though?
Aaron always felt. Really. Aaron and I have had this little discussion. We haven't actually had it verbally, but it's been more of a. I could see the way he's thinking. He feels like that Tanya deserved everything that she got.
That's true, actually.
Except for the
beating.
Yeah. No. My question for Sabrina.
No, but seriously, just an example for people that don't know. Tanya Harding injured Nancy Kerrigan is the story. to win a medal, and basically, and so that's the kind of person that should feel bad about their success because they injured somebody else en route to doing it.
That would be an imposter syndrome.
That is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Still too soon to joke about it. Back to you.
Yeah. So, Sabrina, my question for you is, was there like something that happened in your career or your life, or like an inspirational moment you came to a crossroads that made you go, I really need to write this book to help people? Just something maybe, that you've always just wanted to be able to help other people to also make it like you have. Like, what brought you to the moment where you're like, I need to make this a book and share this with the world?
Yeah. I mean, thank you for asking that. I mean, I think I made so many mistakes in my career. I was 29 years old when I started my company. I had no leadership training. I had no management training. I had no idea how to run a company.
Yeah.
And so all of those mistakes that I made over a period of, over 2 decades, both as a CEO of my own company, but then like advising other clients, right, as well through their situations, I felt like coming from this unusual perch of being a PR person, that you may think, why am I learning about integrity from a PR person? I think I have a unique position to sort of offer some words of wisdom on what not to do. And after selling my business, I took some time off and I thought, okay, now's the time to tell these stories.
Where do you live?
I live bi-coastally, actually. I live mostly in New York on Long Island, but I also still have a place in San Francisco and used to go there all the time, but hopefully now that'll start to pick up again.
So you live bi-coastally?
Yes.
That's two coasts.
Yeah, 2 coasts.
Clay.
Yeah,
It's
East
like-
Coast and West Coast.
Yeah.
You notice? Now listen. You notice?
As opposed to tri-coastally.
Well, I was
That's
saying,
Miami, I think.
I would,
right?
Sounds
I would,
good.
I don't understand. A lot of people, Aaron, you hear about a lot of the rich and the famous?
Yeah.
They'll buy a house in Oklahoma. So why aren't you, Sabrina, coming? You just unbelievable sod farms this time of the year. I mean, the sod farm tours, unbelievable. The green, the green as the eye
yeah,
can
the
see.
sod is
The
so green
It's
this time of year.
majestic.
It's
Sabrina,
wonderful.
why have you not come to Tulsa for the sod farm tours?
Yeah, I haven't made it there yet, but I'm going to put that on my hit list for next fall.
Have you been to Mayfest in Tulsa before?
I've never been to Tulsa, but if I come, will you show me around?
Let me tell you the 4 things you want to see when you're in Tulsa that are going to blow your mind.
Wow, I've lived here for a long time, Sabrina, and I'm really curious to hear what he's about to say about
One,
Tulsa.
there's a blue whale the guy started building in a suburban area nearby called Catoosa.
Yes.
It's a massive blue whale. We don't know why he built it.
No, we don't.
It's massive, and it kind of faces the road,
Sits by the side of Route 66.
and everyone knows about it.
Yep.
And it's there. So that's one thing.
Yep.
2, sod farms. The
Oh,
tours. Just
yeah.
you go in there, you ask them questions
Flat
like
land grass.
I have a question. What side? Where is the green side? And they go, that's on top. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
going to have a
God.
really good docent to do the presentation on the sod farm tour. He's got to remember the green side is up.
Sabrina, you put the green side up most of the time. Now the third thing to see in Tulsa is phenomenal. Toll roads.
Toll roads.
I mean, if you want to see some toll roads,
Oh, the bike pass. The
you
bike
get
pass.
to pay a
The
toll
bike
everywhere you go.
pass.
And the fourth, and probably one of the most just majestic, wonderful aspects about, I believe, that makes it's a grocery store called Doc's, where like they offer about 4% of what they offer can be found in the organic form. So if you want to eat organic with 4% of your purchases, go to Doc's. Those are just all things I'm throwing out. I know it's appealing. Don't sell everything now.
I
Don't
think
don't
that
start moving.
Sabrina probably just canceled those tickets to Tulsa next fall.
Get out of here. It's a hot sales pitch. Okay, so now back to your book. Your book, you also in your book, you talk about some of the harsh truths about running a business. You got to lay people off. You got to things that happen. And you talk about how to deal with it. For the listeners out there who maybe are having a tough year, does your book tell us what your book teaches people about how to deal with tough things that happen in business?
Yeah. Well, it has been a tough year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think part of this is being able to face reality. And running a business with integrity and authenticity always is predicated on the fact that you're grounded in reality. And reality is hard. you may have made a mistake that you need to admit. Your product has a flaw, or the market's experienced a downturn and you have to lay off some people. And if you don't face reality, right, then what you do is you procrastinate and you delay making those decisions, which puts you in a worse position, right? Or you don't admit that you made a mistake and then somebody finds out and you're hurt your reputation, or worse, go to prison. So I provide a construct in this book to help people disarm fear and organize risk, which is to say you have to ask yourself every single question that you don't want to get and come up with answers for them. And no comment is not a viable option, right? And you basically come up with a plan where you hope for the best and plan for the worst. And that gives you a place to sort of operate in the middle, and yes, in limbo, in a crisis, where you sort of know what your options are at any given moment in time.
Aaron, real quick, I have notes here.
Yeah.
Jail bad,
Yeah.
not jail
Yeah.
good.
That's true. Yeah. That's
I
good,
mean this
Clay.
though. You see a lot of CEOs that you say, "Well, how did they make that decision?"
Right.
It's the pressure of the moment caused them to suspend their morality
Yeah.
and make a bad call, and then another
Yeah.
bad call. But with the constructs presented in this book, the way to make decisions,
Yeah.
you could avoid that kind of thing. So that's all in the book here.
I work in the home building world. I've seen lots of suspension of morality in our industry, and it's not just in one industry; it's in many. I mean, attorneys. I'm sure James
Yeah.
has experienced it. It's a primary thing to have as sort of the underlying foundation of everything you do. I think it's great that you've written a book on that. That's
Now,
awesome.
Sabrina, we have time for one more question. This is kind of the drop the mic question, okay? People from coast to coast are listening, taking notes. Some of our shows, for reasons that I can't quite understand, some of the shows will have a million listens in one show. Some shows will have 80,000 listeners. We don't know, Aaron. We don't know. It's like messages in a bottle. Then somebody goes on Reddit, gets crazy about a show, and it just takes off.
Yep.
So your message that you want to share with our listeners from coast to coast, what would be your final message you want to share before you drop the mic?
Yeah, well, I guess my message would be like, you don't ever need to fake it. And we think that we have to fake it these days because it's like in our fabric of our society. But you really don't. And you'd be so much better off if you just faced reality and deal with the truth and use some of the tools and tactics and mental maps in my book to help you navigate your journey.
Folks, the new book, folks, you got to check it out here. It's Make It, Don't Fake It, Leading with Authenticity for Real Business Success. Her name is Sabrina Horn. She's a sort of a big deal. She has put up with us for at least about a 25 minutes here.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And hey, I will say, people who are not able to see it, because our show's mostly an audio-only program, you have a big red wall behind you. It appears as though you have a beautiful dog that hangs out with you. What kind of dog is that? And tell us about the decor in your place.
Yeah, I do have a big red wall behind me. I have two very large golden doodles. They're about 80 pounds
great.
each.
That's a great
And yeah, and they're awesome. Their names are Lucky and Sammy. And I live on a very nice suburb in Long Island on the North Shore, kind of close to the water, and it's very peaceful here. And I love it when I'm here, and I love it when I'm in San Francisco. But right now I'm here, and I have two amazing kids, and Grace and Christina. Grace is in San Fran, and Christina's here in New York.
Can you see the water from where you are?
Not anymore because the trees grew leaves, and now it's obstructed. But yeah, there's one weekend in the fall. Fall is beautiful here, when all the leaves drop, and then all of a sudden I've got a little water view again.
And is it the red wall? Is the whole place a red theme?
No, only the family room. Yeah.
Really?
Do you want to come over?
Yeah, I do. I'm very interested in like the decor of people's offices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sets a tone.
Yeah. Do you? There's no pictures on the wall. It's just red wall. No frame pictures.
Well, the wall is it's like a round alcove.
Yeah.
And
okay.
yeah. And so
I can
there's
pick
no it's round, so I can't hang anything from it. It was like a breakfast nook kind of a thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's something going on about that round wall behind her. It doesn't look flat.
And if you'd
Yeah.
like,
It's just a bench, and I'm sitting in front of it because it's a nice backdrop.
Sabrina, we could probably get somebody to come paint a mural of Clay's face on that rounded
My
wall.
face,
if that
picture
would
my
help you at all.
face with a little, like one of those like old school, those old pictures, the old Coca-Cola commercials, the vintage thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where the guy's got the thumbs up or something, or he's
Yeah.
holding a beer.
Oh, we
it'll
could
be
do
like
it.
that, but I'll be doing a thumbs up, and then I'll have like a little air quotes that the cartoon has, and it'll say, "Come visit our sod farms."
Someday there's going to be a knock on your door, and I'm going to stand there, and I'm just going to say, "This is your moment. This is your moment to show me your sod farms."
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
Don't threaten Clay with a good time. There you go.
That's right.
Well, I thank you so much, Sabrina Horn. You are a great American, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a blast.
Take
All
care.
right.
And we're
See
off.
ya.
All right.
Sabrina, I'm going to try to push this show out tomorrow. You cool with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think my publicist wanted it to run a little closer to
What day do
book
you
launch date.
When does your book come out?
June 22nd.
Let's do like June 21st.
That'd be great.
Is that better for you?
Yeah.
Okay, June 21st. We're doing it June 21st. You're the best. We're the worst.
Awesome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Now, folks, for anybody out there that doesn't know, I want to make sure everybody out there knows this. We have a rumble.com channel. And our rumble.com channel is where we put a lot of epic shows up there. And so if you're listening to this podcast and you want to hear some really, really raw truth, you want to hear the stuff that... If you're kind of wanting to hear the next level stuff, I encourage you to find the Thrive Time Show on rumble.com. Again, that's rumble.com. And there you will find the real and raw edition of the Thrive Time Show. We might have an interview where we go just a little bit deeper on rumble.com. You might find some videos that you can't find anywhere else. You might find the real and raw truth right there on rumble.com that you might not be able to find on the other players. So again, if you haven't subscribed to the Thrive Time Show on rumble.com, I encourage you to go to rumble.com today and look for the Thrive Time Show there and click the subscribe button. And you don't have to have the rumble.com app on your phone in order to watch the videos or listen to the content. You just go to rumble.com and search for Thrive Time Show, and there you can find each and every one of our Thrive Time shows right there at rumble.com. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!